Can we mark the attendance now?
You are now requested to mark your attendance first. You are now requested, since I've started recording, you are now requested to mark your attendance. Please, if even if you have marked your attendance earlier on, it's better that you mark it again, since I am recording the session now. Chilly today. Energy. Okie dokie. We will be doing the future perfect continuous tense. The structure of the future perfect continuous tense is that you have the subject in the beginning, the auxiliary verb will. That is, auxiliary verb means helping verb. Okay, auxiliary verb will and auxiliary verb have. The third, this time you have three auxiliary verbs. Okay, earlier on you had only two, have and been, but since we are talking about future, we have now got three helping verbs: first, second, and third. And then comes your main verb. Okay? You have will to show the future, have to show the perfection. Okay? And be, have, be will be representative of perfect. And main verb, which is present participle or base plus ing. Okay? Over here, it says invariable. I'll give you the reason why I have given this invariable over here, because there are basically two ways that we can make future perfect continuous. Remember, back in grade 6, I told you that future is to show two things. Either you make a plan or you have to show the cause and effect. Okay, when you are planning something, you use a different version of the auxiliary verbs. Okay, I'll come to that later on, but basic thing is, or the way we most often convert tense into future perfect continuous is to simply add will, have, been plus verb in the ing form. Okay. Okay, we look at the sentence structure. Affirmative sentences, you have the subject, you use will or shall. You can use both will or shall. Shall is more formal. Will is informal way of speaking. Okay, when you are talking in a very formal manner, you are in a formal gathering, that's where you use shall. Otherwise, you're going to use will. Subject plus will or shall plus have been, three helping verbs, plus the present participle, that is the ing form, base plus ing form of verb, object, and your time reference using since or for. For example, he will have been watering the plants for 2 hours. I will have been studying since 3 o'clock. At times, you can remove the object if you wish to. In the negative sentences, all you have to do is add not after will or shall. Earlier on, you must have noticed that in the present perfect continuous and past perfect continuous, we added not over here after have, has, or had. But now we are going to add not of before have, okay, and after will. Not is added after will and before have. Okay, the rest of the statement goes okay. The rest of the statement will continue as it was earlier on. All you have to do is add not after will or shall. For example, he will not have been watering the plants for 2 hours. I will not have been studying since 3 o'clock. Interrogative sentences. In the interrogative sentences, will jumps from here to here. That is, earlier on in the negative and the affirmative, you noticed that will was after the subject. Now, in the interrogative statement, will is going to jump from here and it's going to come before the subject. Okay, have been is going to come after the subject. Will have, oh, sorry, for example, will he have been watering the plants for 2 hours? Will I have been studying since 3 o'clock? If, for example, you have a question statement and the question statement is in negative. Oh, one little thing that I missed is, which you don't have to miss either, put a question mark instead of a full stop. Okay? Don't forget to add a question mark at the end. Now, if, for example, this had not, instead of a affirmative interrogative, the statement was, will he, oh, sorry, that he has not been water, he will not water the plants, okay? Will not he have been watering the plants for 2 hours? Will not is going to change into won't. Okay? Won't is the contraction for will not. Oopsie. Okay. Okay. Instead of will, we can use won't to show the negative question. Won't I have been studying since 3 o'clock? Won't he have been watering the plants for 2 hours? Okay. Do you get the idea of a negative interrogative statement? Give me a thumbs up if you do.
Yes, ma'am.
Either speak it up or show me a thumbs up. Okay. Okay, I've got them coming. Good job. Right. Moving over. A quick recap. I will have the first two are the affirmative sentences, the second two are negative sentences, and the last two are examples of interrogative sentences. I will have been working for 4 hours. You will have been traveling for 2 days. She will not have been using the car. We will not have been waiting long. Will you have been playing football? Will they have been watching TV? Now, why do we use or when do we use the future perfect continuous? That is important. There are two basic uses. The first one is to show a duration before something in the future. Okay? We use the future perfect continuous to show that something will continue up until a particular event or time in the future. For 5 minutes, for 2 weeks, and since Friday are all durations which can be used with the future perfect continuous. Notice that this is related to the present perfect continuous and past perfect continuous. However, just like that, they mean to say that just like in the present perfect and the past perfect continuous, the action began, for example, in the past, the action began in the past, continued and ended in the past. The present perfect continuous, the action began in the present, continued and ended in the present. Sorry, the action began in the past, continued until a time in the present. Okay, but for the future, the action will begin sometime in the future. It's going to continue and also end in the future. Okay, with future perfect continuous, the duration stops at or before a reference point in the future. Here is a little picture to show the idea. This is the past. This is the correct, current or the present time. The future perfect continuous, the action will begin in the future and it's going to continue until the action ends. Both the action, the starting and the ending will both happen in the future, not now, not in the past. Okay? Now, if you can notice, I have given you the first version is exactly what I have just explained using will, have, been, plus the present participle, that is the ing form of the verb. But if you notice, there is a second version of uh, making the future perfect over here using is, am, are, going to, and then using have been and the present participle. Okay, for example, I am going to have been, oh, sorry, they are going to have been traveling to France in 3 weeks. Okay? But since the second version is a little confusing, so most of the time people avoid it. Okay? But this one is the easier and the more convenient way of using future perfect continuous tense. Okay. Examples: they will have been talking for over an hour by the time Thomas arrives. Okay? This is the first action that is happening, and this is going to be the second action. Okay? The first action will be in the future perfect continuous tense, and the second action is going to be in simple present. Okay? Now, notice this is the first way of making future perfect continuous tense, and this is the second way of making future perfect continuous tense. She is going to have been working at the company for 3 years when it finally closes. James will have been teaching at the university for more than a year by the time he leaves for Asia. How long will you have been studying when you graduate? We are going to have been driving for over 3 days straight when we get to Anchorage. When you finish your person A, when you finish your English course, will you have been living in New Zealand for over a year? No, I will not have been living here that long. Notice now this notice this disclaimer is for exactly what I have explained over here. Okay. Notice in the examples above, the reference point marked in italics, that is, these are the italics, okay? The reference points are in simple present rather than simple future. We're not using will uh, graduate, will arrive, okay? We're not using future. We're using simple present. This is because these future events are in the time clauses and you cannot use future tense in time clauses, okay? You do not use future tense in time clauses. Instead, you use simple present to refer to it. Um, Usage number 2. Okay, I think someone is asking a question. Okay, people are still giving their attendance. Cause number 2, oh sorry, use number 2, cause of something in the future, just like we showed you in the present and in the past that uh, the future the present perfect continuous is used to show the cause of an effect. Similarly, future perfect continuous is also used in the same sense. Using the future perfect continuous before another action in the future is a good way to show cause and effect. For example, Jason will be tired when he gets home because he will have been jogging for over an hour. Claudia's English will be perfect when she returns to Germany because she is going to have been studying English in the United States for over 2 years. Remember, if you notice, we are using will be tired. That's simple future. And over here, will have been jogging is future perfect continuous. But a little while ago, I told you that you should use simple present for the second verb. Why are we using simple future over here? Because this is the cause, something is happening, and here is the effect. Here is the result of that cause. Okay? Because Jason will have been jogging, he will be tired. Oh my God, that was so scary. Okay? Because Jason will be jogging for over an hour, obviously he will be tired. Okay? A future perfect continuous is going to be the reason for the result. Okay? Claudia is going to have been studying for over 2 years. Sorry, she'll be studying English. She's going to have been studying English for over 2 years. That is why her English will be perfect. Okay? Because this is what she is doing. This is going to be the result. Okay? Future continuous versus future perfect continuous. If you do not include a duration such as 4 5 minutes, for 2 weeks, or since Friday, many English speakers choose to use future continuous rather than the future perfect continuous. Be careful because this can change the meaning of the sentence. Future continuous emphasizes interrupted actions, whereas future perfect continuous emphasizes a duration of time before something else happens in the future. Now, notice how this is going to happen. Bhaijan, please आप इधर से चले जाएं. I hate you like anything, silly thingy. Okay, ये एक दफा फिर मेरे सर के ऊपर आएगा. He will be tired because he will be exercising so hard. The sentence emphasizes that he will be tired because he will be exercising at that exact moment in the future. Will be exercising is future continuous. He will be tired because he will have been exercising so hard. आ जाए आप नीचे आ जल्दी. Over here, will have been exercising so hard is your future perfect continuous. Okay? This sentence emphasizes that he will be tired because he will have been exercising for a period of time. It is possible that he will still be exercising at that moment or that he will just have finished. Okay? Simple, nothing, difficult in all of this. All you need to understand is the concept that you cannot, that future perfect gives a different impression of the idea, whereas future continuous emphasizes the interrupted, or it shows that the action has just finished. Okay, or the action it was happening sometime in the future, but the future perfect continuous is going to give you the uninterrupted continuous time, and maybe the action is still going on. Warning, remember, no future in time clauses. You do not use future tense in the time clause. Like all future forms, the future perfect continuous cannot be used in clauses beginning with time expressions such as when, why, when, while, before, after, by the time, as soon as, if, unless, etc. Instead of future perfect continuous, present perfect continuous is used. For example, you won't get a promotion until you will have been working here as long as Tim. Notice that we have used the adverb over here. Okay, you won't get a promotion until you will have been working here as long as Tim. This is incorrect. The correct thing is you won't get a promotion until you have been working here as long as Tim. Okay, this is present perfect continuous. Okay. ओके जी चलिए अब ये सेकंड वार्निंग है also remember non-continuous verbs okay it is important to remember that non-continuous verbs cannot be used in any continuous tenses instead of using future perfect continuous with these verbs you may use future perfect okay Ned will have been working Ned will have been having his driver's license for over 2 years. Ned will have had his driver's license for over 2 years. This is future perfect, and this is the wrong use of future perfect continuous. Clear? One last thing. Adverb placement. The examples below show the placement for grammar adverbs such as always, only, never, ever, still, just, etc. Remember, the adverb will come, is going to be used after will. Okay? You will only have been waiting for a few minutes when her plane arrives. Will you only have been waiting for a few minutes when her plane arrives? You are only going to have been waiting for a few minutes when her plane arrives. Okay, if you this is the first you use, and this is the second way you convert. Okay, the are you going to be? Okay, when you are using the second way, it comes the adverb is going to be used after are. If you notice, this is since this is an interrogative statement, since this one and this one is an interrogative statement, what have we done? Will has come before the subject, only is going to remain over here. Okay, are has jumped over here to make the question statement, only is going to remain over here. Okay, get the idea? You are only going to have been waiting for a few minutes when her plane arrives. Are you only going to have been waiting for a few minutes when her plane arrives? Challenge. I wanted to do two things together today. इसलिए I'm going to come to the Urdu to English translation now. पहचान अगर दो फकरात एक मिनट फिक्रे होते हैं ना हाँ बस ठीक है अगर उर्दू फिक्रात के आखिर में और शुरू में ये बात हो शुरू में सुबह से शाम से 2 दिन से परसों से 15 दिनों से पिछले 10 सालों से ठीक है आखिर में रहा होगा रही होगी रहे होंगे मिसाल के तौर पे मैं आपका कितने दिनों से इंतजार कर रहा होगा ठीक है उर्दू में
मैम नहीं होगा
सॉरी
मैं आपका कितने दिनों से इंतजार कर रहा हूँगा
हाँ वो नून गुन्ना रह गया उसमें यहाँ पे हो होना चाहिए उसने हो लिखा हुआ है इसको हो होना चाहिए ठीक है कर रहा होगा नहीं ठीक है गड़बड़ हो गई है थोड़ी सी अच्छा उर्दू में पहचान आज जो है ना मैंने बड़ी कोशिश करके वो क्या कहते हैं उसको, एक माय सिस्टर शी टोल्ड मी ऑफ अ साइट कॉल्ड dictation.io. आज मैंने उधर टाइप करके और उधर से कॉपी पेस्ट करके इधर कुछ करने की कोशिश की है, ठीक है, ताकि आज कुछ क्लियर हो जाए चीजें. ओहो प्लीज गो अवे. अच्छा, उर्दू में पहचान. फ्यूचर कंटिन्यूअस टेंस में अगर वक्त भी मौजूद हो तो ये टेंस बन जाता है विल हैव बीन, शेल हैव बीन. वर्ब की पहली फॉर्म के साथ आईएनजी लगाकर फोर्थ फॉर्म बनाते हैं. ऑब्जेक्ट आता है और फिर ऑब्जेक्ट के बाद फॉर या सिंस, ये वही इन्होंने सेंटेंस स्ट्रक्चर बन गया. इधर आखिर में दिया गया वक्त लगा देते हैं. नेगेटिव बनाते हुए विल शेल के फौरन बाद नॉट लगाते हैं, फिर बाकी का जुमला वैसे ही लगा देते हैं. विल शेल को जुमले में सबसे शुरू में लगाते ले आते हैं इंट्रोगेटिव स्टेटमेंट्स में. अच्छा, ये उर्दू में ही हमने इसको ट्रांसलेट कर दिया सारी कहानी को. ठीक हो गया. ओहो, ये तो एक्स्ट्रा टाइल कैसे आ गई मेरी, खत्म हो गई कहानी. अच्छा, हम ये कर लेते हैं कि मेरे पास है जनाब, मेरे पास क्या है, सब कुछ है अल्लाह का दिया हुआ, अल्लाह का शुक्र है. अच्छा, मैंने आप लोगों के लिए, आप लोगों के जो बुक है उसका पेज नंबर 128 आई हैव. देखिए आज मैम बड़ी एक्टिव हुई थी. आज मैम ने काफी सारे काम जो ना पहले से करके रखे थे कि मुश्किल ना हो. ठीक है. अच्छा, रेज योर हैंड एंड वी हैव ऑलरेडी एक्सीडेड द टाइम लिमिट. आपकी और 8 मिनट्स के बाद क्लास है. 3 मिनट्स में ले लेती हूँ आपके. 9:35 तक मैं आप लोगों की क्लास ले लेती हूँ. और मुझे सिर्फ रैंडम मेरे ख्याल टॉप 5 स्टेटमेंट्स हम कर लेते हैं, इनकी ट्रांसलेशन. ठीक है. यूसुफ खान, वुड यू लाइक टू हैव द फर्स्ट टर्न, या कोई और बच्चा? रेज योर हैंड सो आई कैन आस्क यू. एनीवन वुड लाइक टू डू द फर्स्ट वन? लोग 4 बजे से कुएं से पानी भर रहे होंगे. एनीवन? रेज योर हैंड्स. नहीं, कोई भी नहीं. मैं पूछूं फिर खुद ही. उमर सिद्दीकी, यस प्लीज.
Ma'am, I think it would be people would have been.
वुड.
I'm getting.
वुड क्यों? पास्ट क्यों जा रहे हैं हम?
People, ma'am, then it would be people will have been filling water from the well.
Filling water? Should it be filling
Ma'am,
water?
extracting water.
Extracting water?
Ma'am, निकालिंग water, ma'am, पानी निकाल रहे हो बस.
Shouldn't it be getting water?
Getting water, yes, ma'am.
Drawing water होता है. ठीक है. You draw the water from the well. Yes,
Okay,
complete the
ma'am.
sentence, please.
People will have been drawing water from the well.
From the well. Very good. And since when? Time
Since 4 o'clock.
since 4 o'clock. Very good.
Okay, ma'am.
All right. Next, आप आधे घंटे से डिपो से आटा लेते रहे होंगे. Okay, someone just answered in the chat box. Muhammad Hashir. Okay, Muhammad Hashir said people will have been drawing water from the well since 4 o'clock. Okay. Depot is बच्चे जिस तरह utility store का पता है? ठीक है. Depot is there was this time when people used to have a ration card. ठीक है. लोगों को ना राशन कार्ड्स इशू होते थे गवर्नमेंट के बाय द गवर्नमेंट, और आप वो राशन कार्ड दिखाते थे और उसकी एक लिमिट होती थी. देयर वाज अ टाइम स्पेशली आफ्टर द वॉर और ड्यूरिंग द वॉर, ये सिर्फ पाकिस्तान में नहीं पूरी दुनिया में ऐसे होता था कि जब भी कहीं पे वॉर होती थी तो ऑब्वियसली खाने पीने की जो अशिया होती थी उनकी शॉर्टेज हो जाया करती थी. ठीक है. तो लोगों को राशन कार्ड मिलता होता था जिसको दिखा के उस स्टोर से या डिपार्टमेंट से, फूड डिपार्टमेंट से आप लिमिटेड स्टॉक में अपने लिए एडिबल्स या जो फूड आइटम्स या घर के इस्तेमाल के जो जितने भी ग्रोसरी आइटम्स होते हैं वो लिमिटेड क्वांटिटी में आपको मिल जाते होते थे. ठीक है. सो दैट्स व्हाट अ डेपो इज, where basically any sorts of goods are stored. Yes, who would like to answer this one? Yeah, sort of. Yes, Abdullah Khurram. But you write it, the spellings are going to be, ठहरो मैं आप सबको spellings बताती हूँ इसकी. DIPO नहीं होगी, इसकी spelling होती है DEPOT, depot. T is silent. Oh, what did I do? ये मैंने क्या खोल दिया? ये मीडिया प्लेयर कहाँ से खुला है? मीडिया प्लेयर कहाँ से खुल गया है? अच्छा. Yes, please. Quickly, second statement. आप आधे घंटे से डिपो से खाना ले रहे होंगे, आप लोगों की अगली क्लास का टाइम हो रहा है बेटे. Anyone?
Okay, ma'am, I guess do it.
हाँ जी, जरूर.
You will have been getting food from the depot
हाँ.
since half an hour or for half an
For
hour.
half an hour. Instead of food, what will atta be?
Oh,
Wheat.
flour.
Flour. FLOUR. Flour. Okay. You will have been getting
Flour.
or collecting flour from the depot for half an hour. ठीक है? अगर 30 मिनट हो तो फिर आप 30 minutes लिखेंगे. अगर आधा घंटा हो तो आप half an hour लिखेंगे. Number 3, तालिब इल्म 3 घंटे से पर्चा हल कर रहे होंगे.
Ma'am, can I answer?
Yes, please.
Students will have been attempting exams for 3 hours.
For 3 hours, attempting exam for 3 hours. Anyone who'd like to do, this is going to be the last one, ठीक है? इकबाल कई सालों से शेर लिखते रहे होंगे.
Ma'am, can I also answer that?
Please, yes, मेरी जान.
Iqbal will have been writing शेर को क्या कहते हैं इंग्लिश में?
Poetry.
Poetry.
हाँ.
Iqbal will have been writing poetry for many years.
For many years. Very good. With that, we come to the end of the lesson. I will provide you with the same worksheet, and also, since you're having a weekend, I have a second worksheet for future perfect continuous की reinforcement. ठीक है? ये वाली जो एक्टिविटी है, ये वाला जो आपके सामने इस वक्त स्क्रीन पर है, this you're going to attempt yourself in the notebook. ठीक है? ट्रांसलेशन आप खुद से करेंगे, लेकिन जो दूसरी मैं साथ में आपको वर्कशीट दूंगी फॉर द रीइंफोर्समेंट ऑफ फ्यूचर परफेक्ट कंटिन्यूअस, वो आप प्रिंट करवा सकते हैं. अगर प्रिंट नहीं करवाने की सहूलत तो वो 10 स्टेटमेंट्स, बिल्कुल जिस तरह मैंने पिछले दोनों टेंसेस के लिए किया है, there are only 10 sentences. You can write them yourself. You can get a print, but for the translation की print नहीं लेनी. ठीक है? चलें. Thank you so very much. Ooh, 2 minutes to your next class. Thank you. I hope you guys have marked your attendance.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Yes, you all kindly, you are now allowed to leave the class. Thank you.
Allah Hafiz, ma'am.
Allah Hafiz.
Okay, ma'am.
Allah Hafiz, ma'am.
Allah
Hafiz, ma'am.
Hafiz.
Allah Hafiz, ma'am.
We go and join the second.
Allah Hafiz, ma'am.
Which days, Rumesh? Oh, थे Rumesh, मेरा ख्याल है.
जब वीकेंड पे काम नहीं मिलता था मैम.
यार, I am not giving you much.
मैम ये धोखा था, आपने इतनी खुशी से बोला आप तो वीकेंड है, मुझे याद है वीकेंड है, फिर और काम मिल गया.
लेकिन देखो मैं आसान दे रही हूँ, ज्यादा काम नहीं दे
ठीक है
रही.
ना, हम स्कूल में होते थे तो हम आपको कह के मैम नहीं दे कर करके कुछ ना कुछ कर लेते थे.
भाई देखो
अब तो टीचर के पास
हाँ.
फ्री विल है कि वो जितना काम दे दे.
अल्लाह जी, बेचारे बच्चे.
मैम देखें स्कूल